There are ideas we inherit without ever questioning them. One of them is that stability looks like staying in one place, a permanent address, familiar surroundings, a life that doesn't shift too much. But some lives don't follow that pattern, not because they lack stability, because they discover something else. That being grounded and standing still are not always the same thing. Welcome to the Global Barstool, a space for exploring how we define stability, how we misunderstand permanence, and how identity continues to evolve through change. Pull up a chair. This is nowhere and everywhere. I've always moved through life a little differently. Even as a child, I was drawn beyond the edges of where I was supposed to be. My brother and I would ride our bikes across town, disappearing into unfamiliar neighborhoods just to see what was there. It wasn't escape, it was curiosity. There was something freeing about being somewhere no one knew me. A reminder that the world was bigger than the corner I stood in. Looking back, maybe that was the beginning of it. By 18, my family had moved 12 times. New places became routine. New schools became normal. New starts stopped feeling like disruption and started feeling like rhythm. At the time, I thought it meant instability. Now I think it taught me something else. That stability is not always tied to staying in one place. Sometimes it's learning how to adapt quickly enough that change doesn't break you. Later, the Army reinforced that. Over 21 years of service, I moved repeatedly. Different states, different assignments, different people. And around the 2-year mark in each place, I would feel the same shift. Not restlessness, recognition. The sense that I had learned what I needed from that place. And it was time to move forward. After retiring, that pattern didn't disappear. If anything, it became clearer. I've since traveled across multiple continents, and each place has confirmed something I already suspected. Some people are grounded by staying. Others are grounded by adapting. By learning they can move through change without losing themselves. At one point, I tried to challenge that. I bought a house because I believed stability meant permanence, a fixed place, a foundation, something you build everything around. But eventually I realized something uncomfortable. The house wasn't the problem. My expectation of what it would give me was. I had mistaken permanence for grounding, and they are not the same thing. That realization changed how I understand belonging. Because grounding, for me, has never come from staying still. It has come from experience, from relationships, from movement, from learning that identity can hold even when everything around it shifts. Maybe that's what most people eventually come to understand in different ways. Some are steadied by continuity, others are steadied by change. We tend to assume one is right and the other is unsettled. But life rarely confirms that assumption. It simply shows us what we can hold without losing ourselves. Stability is not always where you are. Sometimes it's what remains within you while everything else changes. We often measure life by how long someone stayed in one place, but that may not be the right measure for every story. Some lives are built through permanence, others through movement. Neither is lesser, neither is superior. They are simply different ways of becoming. The important thing is not choosing the correct one, it's recognizing the one you were built for. Because grounding is not the same thing as staying still, and identity is not always tied to where you are. Sometimes it is revealed in how you remain yourself through everything that changes around you. Until next time, this has been the Global Barstool, where stability is redefined through experience. Identity is carried rather than anchored, and some lives are understood not by where they stayed, but by how they remain themselves while everything changed.